Hello, nerd. Hi. What the fuck? Go away, G-Force. How many spoilers we talking? I'm going to preface any spoiler with me being like, I'm talking about a spoiler. You will know if I'm talking about a spoiler. But for the most part, I'm not going to be talking spoilers. Hello, Milkman. How's the pain? Where's that image? Charlotte anime face. I finished Dawntrail like yesterday. And holy shit, do I really feel like this. Why is that so wide? I feel like fucking this. I fucking... Okay, look, let's preface this. Let's do a little bit of here, because guess what? Final Fantasy is a lot like a grilled cheese. And there's a lot good in Final Fantasy, and it's pretty basic to make a good Final Fantasy. But hi, I don't know anything about writing. I don't know anything about game making. But what I do know, also thanks, is that I know whenever a game is boring. And I'm looking at Dawntrail and thinking, wow, none of that felt fun. Well, that's a lie. The dungeons are fun. The trials are fun. I like fighting things. The environments are great to look at. The music is fantastic. Was it really good enough to speedrun the Elden Ring DLC for this? I'm looking back more fondly on my DLC run of Elden Ring than I am of Final Fantasy Dawntrail right now. Let's put it like that. Spell your word, squid. So, look, okay, I think there needs to be, first of all, there needs to be a very, very wide conversation about why 14 as a whole is so afraid to talk criticism about 14. That's an entirely different conversation that I think needs to have happen. But to start off with, I think Dawntrail is really boring. I think Dawntrail deserves the mixed on Steam, because this is not some of their best work. I am stupid. I am a blundering idiot. And even I was like, okay, this isn't that, for this, I'm not having that much good. Not much good be fun here. Because if you don't play 14, they recently introduced this character named Wuk Lamat. Wuk Lamat, for better or for worse, is going to be a character that everybody has an opinion on, because all of Dawntrail is so insistent on you being stapled and tethered to Wuk Lamat. All of Dawntrail revolves around Wuk Lamat. So by the end of Dawntrail, everybody will have an opinion on Wuk Lamat. She is not a character you can just interact with and then forget about and ignore. She is with you the entire expansion. And if you like her, you're in for a good time. But if at any point she starts to, like, wear on you, then you're going to start being like, well, this is going to start getting bad. Hi, Milky. Hi. It's a shonen protagonist. It is a shonen protagonist, but that's the thing. I don't like Naruto. I really don't. I like fighting games with Naruto in them. I don't like Naruto as a character. And that's all she is. She's girl Naruto. She talks about how she wants peace and love and how we should all be friends, and she's going to become the next Hook Dawn servant. And it's going to be great and fun and fantastic, and it's just like, felt tired by the split story. The thing is that I like that. Because whenever the thing happened, I was like, finally! Something's happening! But the bad part is that this is in the final 20% of the expansion. And then in the entire final part of the expansion, they just have to, like, speedrun characters and character development so everything falls flat. There was not a single emotional moment for me in Dawntrail. I did not care at all about anything, because everybody's so, like, two-dimensional. Everybody's cartoonishly evil. Literally, like, everybody. Bakul Jaja, whenever he shows up, is a fucking, like, Saturday morning cartoon villain that steps on tacos and is like, go back to the litter box, kitty. It's time for big cats to roam the jungle. And it's like, cool, great, thanks. Whatever. This your wall? No, this is just a, this is a video. This is the Charlie and Knight theme. And I just think that, like, again, there's so many valid criticisms you can have of Dawntrail. You can be like, it's poorly paced. I don't like Wuk Lamat. You say poor overall is bad coming from Endwalker's story? No, I think it's just like, I came in expecting lower stakes, but I expected stakes. But, like, I didn't get that until the very end, and by then, it was over. So there's nothing left to do. Like, everything got solved. I'm hoping it's just because it's setup. I mean, even then, setup can be fun. Setup can be good. Xenos was set up all the way back in Stormblood, and I loved, like, looking back, I fucking loved that. I didn't hate Lys in Stormblood. I just didn't like the split narrative structure of, like, Stormblood. But I was fine with Stormblood. But Stormblood set up basically Shadow... Like, no, it's Stormblood set up Endwalker. And that was great. That was fantastic. I have seen described it as patch content but boring. That's what it feels like! It feels like a very long, drawn-out Beast Tribe quest. Or just, like, multiple Beast Tribe quests per area. Or it just feels like patch quests. Only whenever, like, Act 2, I guess, started, did it feel like, finally, I'm in the expansion. But, like, you can have setup content. You can have things be set up and still have it be fun. In, like, 6.55, I loved Wuk Lamat. I thought she was a great character. She was, like, silly. She was fun. She was loud and boisterous. But by the middle of Dawntrail, by the level 93, 94, I was sick of Wuk Lamat. So much of that game, if I had access to a quest list where you could, like, see quest, like, objectives, I really want to go through and tally just how many of them say, speak with Wuk Lamat, speak with Wuk Lamat again, speak with Wuk Lamat. There's, like, a Simpsons gag where Homer's making a cartoon, and he makes it so that way any character that is not on screen, or, like, anytime his character that he drew is not on screen, every character must then ask, where's, like, Plibby? And that's basically what happens in this DLC. Whenever Wuk Lamat is not on screen, everybody must ask, where is Wuk Lamat? What is Wuk Lamat doing? Or she needs to be referenced in some way, shape, or form. It's like the writers were really scared I would forget about her if I didn't look at her for like 3 seconds. I was more like tired of Wuk. The split happened. I was like, oh, thank God. But then it was so short. What you're saying is the entire enjoyment of the DLC is like how an ECG looks. Flat, rises, goes below the flat, then returns to the flat. There were very few moments in Dawntrail whenever I was, like, actively having fun. And usually it was during the fights, because I like the fighting. Again, this is Stormblood 2. The battle content is really fun and really engaging. It's like a Mary Sue situation, or she just doesn't really have that deep of a character. Like, her entire character just revolves around, I like peace, peace is good, I'm gonna be the Dawn Servant. Also, I'm insecure about my brothers. And, like, that's it. This is all stuff that doesn't really, like, have anything. So, hot Pokemon. Yeah, hot Pokemon. Feels like we aren't the target audience anymore, story-wise. I don't think so. I feel bad for Wuk's VA. They're going to be catching strays from the characterization. That sucks. I think Wuk's VA did a great job. There were some moments where, like, she didn't, like, really yell or, like, really put enough emotion into it. But that's fine. Because, I mean, from what I understand, it was her first big role, so, like, whatever, you know? You're bound to have those hiccups. It's her first role. So, yeah, you're bound to have those kinds of hiccups. I'm not, like, I don't hate her. But I think that whoever wrote Wuk Lamat did a really bad job. I'm here now. I'm going to be stuck to you like a malignant tumor. Yes. Not even Lise was stuck to you this much. A lot of characters in Dawntrail feel like a response to the camp that hates everyone is morally gray. Which sucks, because now we have everyone is just like a flat character. Most everybody in Dawntrail exists to go, I like peace, we like peace, yippee yay woohoo, peace is good. Or they just say like that, or they just reiterate points that have already been made, and they're basically saying, yes, the floor is made out of floor here. Your role in cosplay posted yesterday. Thank you. I did my best. But, like, I just think about my time with Dawntrail, and, like, I don't think it was that good. Thanks for the lip lock. Because there's just so much there that goes wrong constantly that it just adds up. This is also coming off the fact that we just got done with Endwalker patches. And Endwalker patches were also, from what I can tell, not that well received. People thought Endwalker patches were boring. And so now we're into another, like, hiccup phase wherever now the entire main expansion that came out isn't that good. I've been having fun, though, overall. And that's good. I'm glad you are having fun. Do not let my, like, Debbie Downerisms impact your joy of the expansion. If you are having fun and you are liking the expansion and you are having a good time with Wuk Lamat, then you go out there and you learn about the cultures and you put her on the fucking throne. All right? You do you. But I also think that people that aren't having a good time can exist, and they should exist, because not everything is going to be made for everybody. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that their opinions are because they can't read, hate women, or of anything of that nature. If people don't like it because of legitimate story concerns, then they don't like it. If they don't like Wuk Lamat, it's probably not because they secretly hate women. It's probably because of the fact that she is attached to you through the entire game, and regardless of anything, you will have an opinion on her by the end. How have queue times been? Terrible. But that's to be expected with 2 DPS being released. Duty times? Bad. Getting into the servers? That's like nothing. What are you ranting about? Dawntrail. Cause like, I'm not immune. I'm not like a stoic motherfucker, all right? Like, I am not immune to emotion. I bawled my fucking eyes out multiple times during Endwalker. Like, I sobbed like a newborn baby during Endwalker multiple times. But here, nothing. The points in the story that, like, it was supposed to be emotional, I got nothing. It's weird that release of Dawntrail's kind of killed my interest to catch up completely. I'm still in post-Heavensward. Dawntrail is weird, because I also feel like it didn't have anything surrounding it. I have not felt the usual, like, tingle in the air that a new expansion is releasing with Dawntrail. This certainly was an expansion that has came out and now exists in the world. And that's, like, all I can really say about it. But also, Like, there's so much more I could talk about, like, into specifics. I don't know how far in people are in Dawntrail, and I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm not going to. But I just feel like, overall, the longer this goes on, or the more people get through the game, the more people are going to have opinions on it, whether that be good or bad. What job did you do Dawntrail on? Viper. But, like, the ending. The ending of the expansion will be a very big thing for a lot of people. Start yapping, Milkman. I am yapping. I haven't finished the MSQ at level 97 at the moment. I want to say I'm having a good time with it, but I get your enjoyment of it very much hinges on how much you get gel with Wuk Lamat as a character and how much you can bring yourself to care about Terrell culture in general. Who dies? No one dies. Someone might die. But no one dies. But, maybe they do. What job did you do on Dawntrail? Cameraman. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There were so many scenes in Dawn. Let's talk about that, okay? Let's talk about the Warrior of Light thing. There's a lot of people that are like, these motherfuckers can't stand being the main character, like not being the main character. And it's like, yes, I can. Because that's kind of all I am. I am a blank slate. That's how I interact with the world. If the Warrior of Light is not the main character, then you have to make really good characters to support the fact that they are not the main character. But, like, usually, as well, you need to have something going on. For everything that happens in Dawntrail, there are, like, for 80% of it, 85% of it, you could replace the Warrior of Light with fucking anybody. You could replace them with a Stinian, and nothing would change. Like, literally nothing would change. Which then leads to the point of, like, what's the point of me being here? I'm not on a summer vacation. I'm on a babysitting job. Amazing weapon, and that made the Warrior Light one thing apart from random mentions of jobs you leveled. Exactly. Like, we are good at fighting. We are good at being a defender of the star. And that's what we do. How did it make you feel? Like a deflated balloon? Like, wait, what is that? Wait, is that it? Type thing. No. At a certain point in the story, like, again, like level 94, 95, I was actively, like, groaning walking through it. I was like, I just wanted to be... I skipped cutscenes, and because I knew what was going to be said. And then I talked to the character after the cutscene was done, and they immediately validated that I knew exactly what was going on. That bad, huh? I haven't skipped cutscenes ever in this game. And I've been playing since 2012 ARR. Hi. Hi! This is the first time I have ever skipped cutscenes, and I feel like I have missed out on nothing. Main character and make them a support role, like someone like Wuk Lamat for advice. So much of this could be resolved if just at any point in time, your character literally, like, everyone's saying that this is, oh, you're a mentor for Wuk Lamat. Oh, you're like, you take up this, like, mentorship role for Wuk Lamat. And that's what the DLC is, like, really about. It's not. You don't mentor her in any way, shape, or form. You just reaffirm her. Peace is good. Believe in yourself. That's it. And, like, even then, we can't mentor her. She's going to be a ruler of a city. What do we do with that? We don't know about that. We don't know how to, like... We don't know how to fucking, like, teach her how to do that. I forced myself to get to the second city, and I dropped off the internet for 2 days to stare at a wall. I was burnt out, man. Which is fair. And you should be able to voice that criticism. But, like, if you go on Steam, and you look at the, like, the reviews... I think mixed is, again, very good. I think this is a very good thing. Everyone's being like, I don't know why people hate Dawntrail. I'm doing this due to, like, the mixed reviews. Peak if you have media literacy, and it's like, no. There was even, like, a Twitter post that was like, fucking, I hate all of you. I'll see you in several weeks when you calm down. And it's people being, it's that fucking, this shit fucking sucks, actually, and it's, like, literally the coolest thing ever, and it's, like, someone pointing to Wuk Lamat, and it's like, again, everyone's going to have an opinion on her. You can't not have an opinion on her. If this was, like, your little side quest Skunglow that was off in a corner somewhere that you interacted with for a very brief period of time, and they were getting a bunch of hate, sure, whatever. You can, like, you can then be like that. You can defend your Skunglow because they are yours, and you love them. But at the same time, a main character that is forced to interact with the player throughout the entire expansion is going to be something everybody has an opinion on. Criticism's a good thing. Criticism's good. It makes the game better. We exist now in a frame of reference, or like in a frame of time, wherever so much of the main scenario is hampered down by walking to places, waiting around in places, interacting with things by right-clicking, and then watching cutscenes. There are so many, there are so many gaps in between the gameplay. How would you fix this? Add in more gameplay! And or make Wuk Lamat less of a character. Maybe, like, alternate her in zones. Zone 1, you're with Wuk Lamat. Zone 2, she has to go back to Tuliolol to go and, like, to talk to her dad or something. Or, like, do a thing in the city. Then we're on our own for Zone 2. And then for Zone 3, she's back. Zone 4, she's gone. Zone 5, she's back. Zone 6, she's gone. The thing about Wuk Lamat is that she is omnipresent. In every dungeon, in every trial, she is there. If you do duty support. If you do duty support, she's there. If you do after the dungeon, she's there. Before the dungeon, she's there. Recency bias is a hell of a drug. It is. I've seen people compare it to Raha, and, like, Raha would not be as attached as she is. Not even, like, Shadowbringer's Graha Tia gave you time to breathe. Arendelle was right there. I don't know why they didn't use him more if they absolutely needed a Turali character. Is Graha part of the DLC? Barely. Again, for better or for worse, the entire way down, all 10 levels of the MSQ, it is the Wuk Lamat show. And whether or not you like that or you hate it, that's what it is. The entire way down, it's the Wuk Lamat show. I don't even really know why Kryl was there, because Kryl and Erenville didn't matter, like, at all in the wider plot until, like, the very finale. Kryl kind of mattered in the beginning because, like, her entire thing was, I have this letter from my grandfather about the new world. And most of the time, whenever you walk around in, like, Dawntrail and you interact with Kryl, the only thing she does, or, like, whenever she interacts with, like, the story, it's just, have you seen my grandfather? Was he here? I can't tell you. Okay, thank you. This continues until about Zone 5. Sorry, Dawntrail kind of sucked for you. I hope you play a game you enjoy. Thank you. It's just fucking... Ugh. I don't know. I feel like an insane person because obviously I didn't enjoy the thing that everybody else enjoyed. How are the fights? Amazing. Phenomenal, immaculate. I have literally no notes. They're actually, like, somewhat challenging. I wiped on a dungeon boss. I wiped a couple times on a dungeon boss. That's good. All right, that's good. I feel insane. I feel insane. Because, I don't know, I feel like everything about Dawntrail makes me feel insane. I thought at a certain point the MSQ would get interrupted by Act 2 and Wuk would grow into a ruler. The conflict of Act 2 and 7.1 and 3.3 would be her finally taking the throne after growth, but then she just kind of snapped into being a ruler at one point, that was it, yes. That's cool, Jaja! You're gonna do the EXs? Yes. Because again, battle content is really good. The story is really bad. This is, again, please pay attention to the thing in the bottom right. I did not enjoy the story at all, and I feel good. It's a new story, so there's bound to be stuff people for sure dislike. In general, I've noticed story-heavy games aren't your cup of tea. That's not it, though. I have played Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, I have played Divinity 2, I've played Baldur's Gate, I've played Personas 3 through 5, I played SMT 4. I've read like all of the Fate visual novels. I love Bravely Default, Bravely Second. Like, I can enjoy a good story, but that's the thing. It has to be a good story. And so much of what I experienced in Dawntrail was not a good story. It was very much characters just kind of existing, being like, we like Wuk Lamat, peace good. There was one moment that a character felt like the character they were supposed to be, and that was at the very finale of the game. Both can be good at the same time, and people are allowed to make opinions based on what parts affect them the most, good or bad. Exactly, and this is just my experience with Dawntrail. Like, again, usually, I know a story is, like, hitting really good if it makes me emotional. Because I'm not, like, again, I'm not an unempathetic beast. I can empathize with characters and what they're going through. I felt nothing in Dawntrail. I felt literally nothing. Like, there's a level, like, there's a quest in which they're like, oh, but this thing, don't you feel bad about this thing? Like, pretty early on before Act 2. Or not, like, early, I'm like, in Act 2, and I'm like, not really. The entire, like, end of the game, also, I was like, whatever. Mainly because, at the very end of it all, I was like, wait a second. You've done this before. And more importantly, you did this before. Not even like an expansion ago. And at that point, I was like, oh, come on. It ruined everything for me, of like the finale of the expansion, because I'm like, Shadow of the Erd Tree? No. Oh no, SOT is Shadow of the Erd Tree. Actually, yeah, that should be SOET. But like, for me, I think Dawntrail is like not a good jumping off point either. Because whenever we ended off ARR, we had so many like different threads we could pursue. We had the Garleans, we had the Ascians, we had the Beast Tribes, we had like the different, like, city nations. We had whatever was going on with Ishgard. Here, we have, like, nothing. Like, literally nothing. Ugh. Again, I feel like an insane person because I see so many of my friends, like, enjoying Dawntrail, and I'm so glad they enjoy Dawntrail, but then again, I feel like I played an entirely different expansion. Feels directionless. Yes. Well, not really. It's very easy to see where they're going to take the story from here. In, like, the patches. I don't know what they're going to do for next expansion, but I know what they're going to do for the patches. Ugh. The one with the weight of the truth is always alone, Milky, don't worry. I don't even feel like I'm right. Like, I'm not doing this to be like, I'm right, you're wrong! Dawntrail's bad objectively. Like, it's not. But I do think wider discussion needs to be had about why this game has mixed reviews on Steam. Or why this expansion has, like, mixed reviews on Steam. Wuk was giving Luffy at the beginning with this current cutscene. I can see Naruto. Is the story weaker than Stormblood? Yes. 100% yes. Stormblood works very well because Xenos is a threat. Like him or hate him, he's a threat for all of the expansion. For literally all of it, Xenos is a threat. He is introduced very early on into the story or like into the expansion story, and he exists as a threat that is looming in the background at all times until the end. There is no looming threat in Dawntrail. There is none. They basically do like villain of the week until the very end. And even then, they resolve the very end. So it's like, there is no threat. Stormblood had Xenos. Heaven's Word, it didn't really have an omnipresent threat, but it was about, like, dragons and, like, seeking asylum in a new land from, like, the high of just getting banished from your current, like, getting banished from, like, basically, Eorzea. Shadowbringers had the omnipresent threat of the Flood of Light. And solving that, as well as Emmett Selk. Endwalker started off kind of slow, but immediately picked up whenever shit started hitting the fan. Like, if I was chained to Hildebrand for an entire expansion, I'd hate him. I would hate any character that I was chained to for an entire expansion that every single other character has to constantly, like, talk about. I would. It literally doesn't matter. It's just the fact that, like, where the Endwalker relics suck. Exactly. I don't care. I just don't want to, like, be bombarded with a character. I just fucking... There's so much here to criticize. There is so much here to criticize that should be criticized. And so many people are just, like, hand-waving it away, being like, they're mad. People are mad. They can't read. And I feel like I want to, like, fucking throttle somebody. Would have been better if they just split Wuk's screen time between Kyle and Aaronville. Guess we didn't have fun with Dawntrail? No. Not at all. I went into Dawntrail really excited. I liked Wuk Lamat. I came out of Dawntrail bored out of my mind, hating Wuk Lamat, and then also feeling, damn, That should have been a patch quest. Like, because all of the patch quests... How's Solution 9? It's the biggest thing I'm curious about. I love Solution 9. It's great. So much of the Endwalker patch content was spent doing a really long, a really, really long Final Fantasy IV reference for some reason. And so much of the early parts of Dawntrail could be fixed if you offloaded the walls of, like, lore and exposition onto some of the patch quests of Endwalker. Because if people learned about this stuff previously, then you wouldn't have to reiterate it or, like, just dump it all on them at the very beginning of Dawntrail. And you could spend much more of that time, like, building up threats or, like, making a stake somewhere or fleshing out some characters. But instead, we have Villain of the Week in the first, like, 4 zones! And it's just, oh, God. And then they do really interesting things in, like, the second act of the story that ultimately go fucking nowhere because there's no time to do anything with them. You've spent 80% of the expansion basically telling me a Disney movie about how peace good, we should be friends. And then the final part of the expansion, wherever things are starting to get, like, weird and kind of interesting, there's no time to flesh any of that out because, again, we've already had 80% of the expansion pass us by. So now in the final 20%, it feels like an entirely different game. And I don't get it. I don't. It feels weird. It feels disjointed. Stormblood 2. Stormblood 2. Stormblood 2. I need to take a drink of water. Why's my nose burning? It was written like an actual beach episode. Good to know. Not even that. But yeah. Battle content, fun. Story content, bad. The entire first act felt like a hollow rehash of shit that should have been obvious if you played FF. If you played Final Fantasy, which gives me the bad feeling that's going to be because they wanted it to be playable with people who bought story skips. Honestly, I'm of the opinion that with Dawntrail, none of the Scions should be here at all. Like, you could write Kryl out. And you'd only really have to change, like, certain things about the ending. But, like, if they were really committed to the whole, like, it's going to be a new adventure, take the Scions out. I love the twins, I love the Scions, like, I love my fucking friends that saved the universe with me. Take them out. They don't need to be here anymore. This could have very easily been, like, Wuk Lamat and Aaronville, and then, like, we meet a bunch new characters that are going to be important later on in the story in Dawntrail. But, like, we don't. It's just the Scions. Again. But, like, a big thing, too, is that I love Wuk Lamat. I love whenever she showed up to the final boss and Wuk Lamated all over the place. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That happens. I've only finished Endwalker a few patches. I thought the whole thing was yeah, the signs are gonna split for a while. That sounds awful. It is. It really is. I am upset with Obsidian because he's the one that actually got to have a fucking adventure! Ah! Estinian was just there. He was just doing shit to do shit, which is what an adventure should be. Not playing babysitter to a big fucking cat. This is stuff for pre-download, by the way, Jacob. Interesting. I asked this. Is Wuk Lamat at least hot? That depends on how furry you like your girls. Honestly, people think she's hot. So, like, go with that. But I also think that many people are just kind of ignoring Wuk Lamat as a character. Or they're overlooking a lot of Wuk Lamat's character flaws because she's just buff lady. She might look hot, but at the same time, she's Naruto. She's literally Naruto. How much do you think you would like Naruto if you took Naruto and implanted him into, like, a buff cat lady? Naruto Uzumaki? Yes. I said he got the story we showed him. I don't get why they made a point of saying summer vacation back to your adventurer roots when it's not. It's not, yeah, we're not going back to our adventurer roots. I don't know. I feel insane. I want to scream. Yeah, that's it. I don't know, it's like short stream where I just scream about Dawntrail because, again, I feel insane. I'll be back in like 10 hours. For like, Zenless Zone 0. Because apparently it launches at like 10 PM EST. Now we switch to playing Master Duel. I'd rather die. Yeah, I'll be back in like 10 hours, so, bye. Thanks for listening to me ramble.